Cut in scale, guys. Nexas here, and welcome back to Destiny 2. And in today's video, guys, we are here to go over why Gambit is dead. Well, basically dead. Bungie, in the state of the game during the week they released, kind of mentioned a lot about the core playlist and everything, and why basically Gambit is getting no real updates. So we're getting the old map coming back, the Cathedral one, the Dreamy City one, and then there will be some Shadow Legions and Loosened Ties and everything getting added to it. But for the most part, Gambit itself, it's pretty much dead. They're taking away the requirements to do it. So if you want to get obviously gilded titles, you don't have to do Gambit anymore. Seasonal challenges, you don't have to do Gambit anymore. They're basically making it that you don't have to go into Gambit whatsoever unless you really want to, or unless you want to get like a Gambit specific weapon, which honestly sucks. I'm not the biggest fan of Gambit myself. That's mainly probably the reason why Bungie, not just because I'm not a big fan, but it's probably the reason why a lot of people don't really like the game mode, and that's the reason why Bungie are going to be moving resources from it and putting it into elsewhere. But the thing for me is that Gambit itself, it has so much potential. All they have to do is change a few little things, and then it will be legit a really solid playlist. And that's what we are here today to do. We are going to go into some Gambit and showcase kind of the strong points and then the negatives of the game mode, and why Bungie shouldn't just kill the game mode off completely. I think that honestly Gambit has so much potential. It's just, there's just super small things that really make it hard to play. Alrighty, so we're going to be on the Deep 6 doing, of course, Gambit and everything. We're going to showcase just why I'd say the game mode has some flaws, but definitely some bonuses. Like, as I said, one of the fun kind of parts of this game mode is definitely being able to spam your, what's called, your really good builds and everything, your PvE builds. Instant PvE, like with high density enemies. Obviously the deep dives and everything have that now, but being able to go in with like this sort of build where I'm just using my Trinity Ghoul and everything with a big arc build and everything like that, it can be really fun. Putting on also a competitive edge to some PvE as well. So for people who like to play obviously against players or be a little bit more competitive than most, it can be really fun just to kind of go in with. And especially with this, as I said, this build, you can definitely spam out and get some coordination going. Now granted, I will definitely say one of the things that kind of makes it struggle is that, well, invading is one, but you'll see that once they kind of spawn a bunch of enemies, even though I've planted like a bunch of moats, they will be able to, of course, start draining my freaking banks. And draining the bank, honestly, is one of the most frustrating things in it, because what starts happening when you start draining is that you start stomping people. So if you're already in the lead, all that draining moats does is it means that you're freaking just stomping them even more, which it's super hard for like catch up and everything like that. It really just goes against it. You'll see they're after some more freaking things there. But yeah, it's one of the things that I will definitely say is a real big struggle, and it definitely needs to go, is that draining moat mechanic. Like you'll see they're gonna start draining us in like 2 seconds. There we go. We're shedding moats because they started draining us and no one is there, so we're just losing moats and everything right now, and they're just getting the lead on us, which, as I said, for Gambit, I like the competitiveness, and I do like that it's obviously to combat or to give you a bit of an edge to actually bank your moats quickly, but it just kind of goes against the whole premise of like you just get stomped. It's literally stomp or be stomped. Now granted, we're kind of close, and we're going to showcase what the other kind of big problem with the game mode is as well, is that I can go invade. Now I don't exactly have a rocket launcher on, but I can go invade like this, and they have made some big changes of course to it, but I can go invade with heavy and I can just absolutely blast the crap out of them. Now granted, they will have heavy as well, but the fact that I can just run in with a heavy weapon like this and kill every single person honestly just really suck. And he just died to a freaking PvE guy. And then I just want to just die for the crack, boys. Give me my army of one. No, I didn't get it. But the fact that I can jump in there with even like a commemoration, it's not even like the best roll of a freaking auto or LMG or anything. I can just rock in though with an LMG of some form and absolutely blast them. It's just, for me, it just kind of goes against the whole thing of invading. I think if you're going to invade, wall hacks is one thing as well. Like, you can legit see exactly where they are. Wall hacks is one thing, but I also think that you shouldn't really get the heavy. You should only be let run in with maybe a sniper, or even if they just cut it down to primary weapons or something. It really does go against it. You can see we're at 100 already. Oh my god, wait. Who banked the moats? What? I'm so freaking confused. Who the hell banked the moats? There was no one there. Maybe we were draining moats. Oh my god, we were. But look at the score. Look at the score because of that draining moats. We are 100 and they're at 9. So they're just going to constantly invade, which honestly, it just really sucks. As I said, it's just one of the things that really puts people off. And there's the overshield. My good god. But there again, he gets an overshield. He gets wall hacks. It's just like, there's so much potential for this game mode to be good, but they give so much crap to them. But yeah, that's kind of just like legit case in point why the invasions and everything can be kind of dumb. As I said, Not that it's like bad or anything, or like that the invasion should be there. I think invasion is super fun, and I think it's a really cool mechanic. It's just done kind of, or executed kind of poorly, as I said. Being able to just run in with like freaking a heavy weapon, and also when they get that freaking, what's it called, wall hacks and everything as well, it can really suck. And there's a trade, but it can't suck. Like, I mean, this is all it is. It's Thunderlord coming in, absolutely blasting us. You got Gallowhorns coming in, Shrewds, well, Truth, not too much. Eyes of Tomorrow definitely was one as well. It's just a really slow mechanic, and like, I understand that they maybe don't want to change or do massive changes or whatever in terms of like new maps or whatever, but at least giving us freaking some new what's it called, some new updates in terms of the playlist and everything, that would be way freaking better. Like, this crap of having to just sit there and actually deal with these invasions the whole time. And when he's got a Thunderlord and an Overshield and everything, that you can't kill him unless you have like a rocket. It honestly, it just kind of sucks, to be honest. As I said, you get wall hacks too, which I just don't think you should really get them. You should have to go freaking find them. You're a hunter, not a freaking... Hunters never get wall hacks. What is that? And look at that. Just like, how am I meant to know he's there? You can obviously burst damage and freaking burst DPS freaking enemies and everything like that, so you don't have to deal with the invasion stuff. I understand that, but... Oh, God, is it kind of freaking annoying now. I've got to use my super. Guys, we're after doing this, but there's a freaking invader, and he's gonna wipe our squad again. All right, he's over here. We got him. Oh, no! Stupid ass ogre! I had to play. I knew I needed to spot him. Oh, thank God you actually killed him. I knew I needed to spot him, and then I had to freaking, like, just freaking rift it up. But I didn't think the ogre was gonna push me out right in freaking front of him. Oh, my God. They're actually blasting, boys. Oh, my God. Guys, kill him. Kill him. No, I don't think we're gonna have enough time. Buddy, get away. There's a freaking guy with a thing. Oh my God, they're 1 HP. Oh my good God. All right, this guy's gonna freaking invade and kill us. Oh, there he is. Oh, I just cannot beat that. He gets a freaking overshield. Why, Bungo? Why? And look at that, we lost. If that's not the biggest problem with freaking Gambit, I don't know what will. We'll probably do another one, but yeah, that's like the biggest problem with Gambit. You can see right there. We did lose that because the guy just kept invading with freaking Thunderlord, and we couldn't combat it. Now, granted, I could have switched it up, went to Rocket, whatever, but the fact that he gets an overshield and wall hack straight away and can just squad wipe a team so fast, it's just not fun to come up against. Honestly, it's just, I don't care. Like, if you, like, I have heavy and everything, you can do the same. It's just, it's not fun to get killed by heavy so often. Heavy should be like a thing for dealing damage, obviously, to the boss. But once you invade, the heavy should just be locked. You should be able to take out your heavy weapon at all, or else it just takes the ammo off you. Alrighty, so this time we are going to be on Mars doing another freaking game, and yeah, we're going to just showcase a little bit more. As I said, that last game really just showed how invasions and everything can be one of the most frustrating things in the world to actually come up against. But I just think in general, the game had so much potential to be something freaking amazing. But they did so many things to kind of go against it. So one was obviously what's it called, health gating the bosses. I understand why some people, especially if you had a stack, you could legit just freaking wipe a boss within 5 seconds, especially with like Thunder Crashes and everything. So I kind of understand that one a little bit. I just think in general that the gatekeeping and everything, it just leads to more pain and everything from the invasions and whatnot. Obviously, as I said, draining moats was one of the biggest pain in the asses as well. And yo, get rid of the dumbass flank. Bye-bye. Oh, buddy, just freaking died. But yeah, obviously the draining as well is a big pain point in this freaking thing as well. As I said, there is a lot of things where it's just like, why is it like this? But as I said, there is like a really ton of positives as well. So obviously, being able to kind of go against enemies like this, which are great like PvE builds, as I said, is super fun. Obviously wiping enemies, like tons of enemies like this, seeing modes everywhere can be really dope as well. Especially if you get a squad going in terms of different buffs and everything. And when you see like tournaments and people actually competing against each other, it can be really fun to kind of watch. And the thing for me is that this is a really good balance between like competitive sort of gameplay and also having to do PvE. So most people, I wouldn't say like don't like PvP or PvE, but there's a lot of PvP players that won't really enjoy obviously using or playing what's called PvE. They'll be like, oh, PvE is boring, there's no competitiveness. At least Gambit has a little bit of competitiveness, our freaking heavy and everything. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It like bridges the gap between the PvP and the PvE player. Gets PvP players playing more PvE, and gets PvE guys playing a little bit, like obviously seldom PvP, but it's obviously by choice. But a little bit more PvP in terms of someone actually invading and everything, which I think is a really cool. And one of the most unique Destiny I've actually done compared to like other games where they never really do something like this. They never really do obviously the PvE side of things, so our PvE/PvP side of things. So I definitely do think they had like legit a home run going for this, and they're just kind of just tossing it away because of lower player count. But yeah, this game mode has so much freaking potential. I'm not gonna lie. I do think obviously the reason that they probably have the invasions being so freaking hardcore is mainly because you can see right now we've already summoned our primeval, and they're not even close. And I feel like the reason that they let you invade the ton is so you can try catch up. But I think if they just got rid of the draining moats or whatever, I think this would be the easiest way. Or let people just grind their moats out and then have the invasions only when the primeval is up, so you can kind of extend it and everything. I don't know, there's a couple of things I definitely would change, as I said. But this is legit the main reason Gambit is pretty much dead. I mean, Bungie are legit not going to put any more resources into it when player count is low. But the reason player count is low is because of, but yo, freaking ogres shooting my, but go for someone else. But yeah, with a low player count, Bungie will legit just never put freaking resources into it. I mean, why would they when they have other things to kind of make money off? This isn't free to play as well, so Gambit isn't really going to be making them any money anyway because anyone can play it. So there's a ton of reasons I would like say that Bungie are just, they won't put any resource into it, because what would be the point? Now that's the guy from last game who was thunderlording us. Oh buddy, I've got him, don't worry, we got some, we just needed the right map. But yeah, why would Bungie put any resource into a game mode that people first of all aren't playing, and secondly give out about a lot? Because it just won't make them any money. But I will definitely say that shouldn't really be the attitude, because the game is in like dire straits right now, or the freaking Gambit game mode, it's in dire straits. I mean, it's just like there's so much pain points of it that people are just not going to do it. As I said, heavy invasions is legit my biggest one. Draining moats is another. Could be so much better. This is why I wanted to make this video. This legit has so much potential. Well, that is it for me, and of course why Gambit is freaking dead. As I said, the main points really were, of course, that heavy invasions is one of the worst things they have in it. The frequency as well, once you get a primeval up, that you can legit just keep wiping a squad. I know people are like, yeah, just be better at your game, fight them. Guys, it is so hard to fight a guy who has an overshield and also has freaking wall hacks on you. Like, honestly, you play PvP and the guys using wall hacks in the other team, you're just freaking screwed. Do that in freaking Gambit and you're basically saying the same thing. People will say, oh, but if you play enough Gambit though, you know the spawn points of invasions. Yeah, you do, but they still know exactly where your ass is at. So if they have a freaking Thunderlord or anything, you're pretty much dead. Even Eyes of Tomorrow will just absolutely annihilate you. So my biggest pain point, honestly, is legit just heavy. Heavy freaking ruined a lot of the freaking stuff in Gambit, heavy invasions especially. But that's not the only problem as well. Draining moats is one of the biggest annoyances as well, because you'll be out doing PvE and they could legit just summon three what's called little small blockers, and all of a sudden you're getting drained. So you have to run all the way back, try shoot them, and you might say you should have one guy just guarding the freaking bank. But guys, this is a freaking environment where, especially when you're solo queuing, you're not going to have that team coordination, so it's going to be incredibly frustrating. And one biggest problems, I didn't really mention it throughout the video, was that there's no reward really for this, as like in terms of there's no real great weapon to try get. There was a time when like bottom dollar was a thing, so people were playing it for that. There was a time when they were doing unique weapons like breakneck and everything, which were god tier, so everyone was doing their Gambit. You had to play like 40 Gambit games to even complete the quest line for breakneck, and that was one of the reasons a lot of people were actually, you know, playing Gambit. So without those sort of rewards, you're never going to have a population. I mean, the current freaking weapon for Gambit is a Strand linear fusion rifle with not even like that great of perks. And especially because we got craftable freaking linears that are honestly god tier in terms of DPS and everything, you're just not going to do Gambit for it. I mean, you might get a roll just for the crack, but for the most part, you're not going to be going into Gambit to try and get it. But yeah, that's overall my ranted course on the why Gambit is dead and everything. That was a bit of a monologue and everything. I'm just so sad though, because Gambit has so much potential. It has legit a ton of potential to bridge that gap between PvE and PvP. One of the first companies to really do and bring in this sort of type of kind of game mode where it's PvP, PvE together. And they're basically just tossing away because of player, what's called numbers. But the reason the player numbers are there is because the core playlist has so many problems that are so easily fixed, but they just won't do it. They just decided that, yeah, we won't even force you to play it anymore. So yeah, super good at that they're basically killing Gambit and everything. As I said, it's one step away from being absolutely taken out of the game, but hopefully Bungie do eventually turn the page. They've gotten a lot of feedback, I'd say, about the state of the game. A lot of people have voiced their opinion on Gambit. So hopefully they've read that feedback and also think that maybe Gambit actually is good. We'll make some changes and whatnot. But at the moment, you can just know and freaking have the knowledge that Gambit is effectively dead at the moment. I'm just hoping Bungie change it around. But regardless, if you like the video, show us a like. I didn't really see more content. Subscribe. Have a fantastic day. And hopefully I'll see you in the next collective in the next one.